This is James Lutton, delighted to be joined with Jamie Moore. Jamie, how are you, mate?
I'm alright, mate. You?
Yeah, very good, mate, very good. Here today, Jack Catterall, Regis Pro Grey Conference. We do a lot of talking about that, so we're going to talk about something different. Let's look at other aspects of boxing. First of all, big heavyweight fight, Danieldubois at Wembley. Another big fight in the UK. Just for yourself, that fight, how's it go?
Mate, do you know what? I really like the fight, and Dubois has really come on. I think you've got to give him credit where credit's due. He's had a few setbacks, and people questioned his sort of heart and stuff like that. But I think you can learn a lot from those things. You know, you learn a lot about yourself, and I think he's took those lessons on board. He's improved from it, and I think it's not going to be an easy fight for AJ. I just feel like Dubois is getting AJ at the wrong time. You know, you're getting a version of AJ who's got so much experience now, but has found his confidence again, and he's really probably in the form of his life. So as much as I think Dubois has improved, and I think as time goes on, he's going to be a big part in the heavyweight division. You know, by the time he's getting to 28-30, he'll still be a big part of it. But if I think if it goes the way I feel like it's going to go, I think AJ is going to be a dominant performance, and he's just getting him at the wrong time.
You mentioned about timing. Obviously, Daniel's recently teamed up with Don Charles and Kieran Farrell. AJ himself with Ben Davison. Is this the best version of both men to date we're getting to see against each other? Yeah,
that's what I mean. I think, you know, as much as Dubois has improved and is getting better, I don't think he's hit his ceiling yet. I think he's still getting better and he's still improving. Whereas AJ, I don't think he's going to get any better. He's probably at the peak of his career. So I think it's all about timing, and I think it's just a little bit too early for Daniel. I think it would have been better in maybe 12, 18 months' time. But then maybe AJ might have just left the sport by then, so he had to take the opportunity while he could. So yeah, I think it's just about timing, and I think it's just a little bit too early for him.
AJ, outside of the ring, has had a lot of people talk his name as well. Carl Froch has been, well, almost offered him out, come and see me, come and say it to my face sort of thing. What do you make of Carl and his antics?
I just think Carl's a wind-up merchant. He knows what he's doing. He loves causing a bit of controversy, and he's throwing the fishing rod out there and reeling it in. And AJ's bit and a little bit, I'm sure there'll be people who are saying they was personal messages and you shouldn't put it out there. I've got a feeling that both guys know each other from way back, and as much as it on the surface it might look like there's a bit of beef there, I think a lot of it will be a little bit tongue-in-cheek, and I don't think it'll be as serious as people are sort of anticipating.
You mentioned Carl's very controversial. He likes causing controversy.
He loves to wind up, doesn't he?
He does. Something that is definitely controversial is the WBC, where Richard Sullivan has said that he would sanction a world title fight for Manny Pacquiao if he was to come back.
I just read that. Literally, what is he, 44? Same age as me, I think. He would sanction a world title fight for a 44-year-old to come back because he's a legend, which is pretty crazy, in all honesty. You know, the first thing straight away is the safety issue. You know, you can't be putting someone he's not been inactive in terms of not boxing, but certainly not at the level what you would expect to be boxing at for a world title. And it's not without question that a 44-year-old could be in a fit state to box for a world title if he's been active. But just to allow him the opportunity for the sake of who he is, I don't think is the right move at all for the WBC.
What message does that put out to contenders, ranked contenders? They're pushing for that world title fight. Could be their first world title fight, could be somebody looking to become a two-time world champion. And all of a sudden Pacquiao, who hasn't fought for 3 years, as mentioned 44, 45 years old, now walks in and pretty much gets the green light to go and fight for a title. What's that say to the rest of the division? Well,
first of all, you have to look at it and go, what's the point in having a process of doing eliminators and mandatories? People are paying sanctioning fees to do that process to get the fighter into a position where they're going to fight for a world title, and then somebody just comes along because of the past achievements and jumps the queue. From a fairness point of view, it's just wrong. But the WBC seems to have a history of just doing whatever they want sometimes, and I was talking before about in the long run, hopefully over the next sort of maybe 10 years, we might get to the stage where we just have one world champion. Turki Al-Sheikh seems to be making moves where he can get everyone working together and try and get the unity in the sport, so that there's one world champion. And if that's the case, then maybe decisions like that will be taken out of their hands, and it'll be made by maybe an overseeing body, a governing body, which is independent, which can make fairer decisions, which are not based on what suits them depending on their favouritism, but what is based on purely from a sport point of view, so which is the best interest in the sport.
Does it mean that there's a world title shot out there for you coming up soon?
Do you know what? I went for a run last night and I felt okay, so you never know.
And let's finally finish on this weekend's action. Johnny Fisher, Alan Babbage. It's got just got knockout written all over it, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a slugfest. I think they're just going to come out and go swinging, and someone's going to go early. And in situations like that, a lot of the time it's the bigger man. Johnny Fisher's a much bigger man. Babbage. We've seen Babbage when he dropped down to Bridgerweight and he got stopped and against somebody who's nowhere near the type of puncher or the specimen of a man that Johnny Fisher is. So if you was asking me, if it was a betting man, I'd be putting a bet on Johnny Fisher.
If you was Alan Babbage's coach and that's what you expect Johnny Fisher to come out early, blow him out of the water, what would you advise Alan Babbage to do?
It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because you're going in there with a smaller guy, he's known for not being not known for his skill set. He's known for his strength and his punching power. You're asking him to go in there and fight with someone who's much bigger, who most likely punches a lot harder than him. So I don't think that's a good fight stylistically for him at all. And I'm not saying he's not got a chance, because no one's really gone in there and really stuck it on Johnny Fisher. So who's to say that Alan Babbage doesn't go in there and start swinging and land one on the chin? But it really could be sort of roll the dice and see who lands.
Jamie Moore, always a pleasure. Thank you, mate.
Cheers, pal. Thank you.
Top man.